for whatever. Ta-da! Mute yourself if you want. So we have been reading from Pema Chodron for a while now, right? And we have a little tradition in this group that I basically like take which book calls out to me. And this morning it's the little one, which we were working in the other day too, Loving Kindness. Meditations, Awakening Loving Kindness. Doesn't even say meditation, Awakening Loving Kindness. And then I just open up the book to wherever and see what comes up. Okay, so it's always like appropriate. Today's is Taking a Bigger Perspective. So I love these little books because there's a lot of pithy instruction in a tiny little book, right? So through my experience of Buddhism and my deep love and respect for my teachers, the teachings and the practices, I've come to see that it's good to stick to one vehicle and go deeper and deeper and deeper. This is a good thing to talk about. But by doing this, I've begun to see the sacredness of everybody's wisdom and the fact that people discover the same truths through many avenues. Meditation begins to open up your life so that you're not caught in self-concern, just wanting life to go your way. In that case, you no longer realize that you're standing at the center of the world, that you're in the middle of a sacred circle because you're so concerned with your worries, pains, limitations, desires, and fears that you are blind to the beauty of existence. All you feel by being caught up like this is misery, as well as enormous resentment about life in general. How strange. Life is such a miracle, and a lot of the time we feel only resentment about how it's all working out for us. There was once a woman who was arrogant and proud and decided she wanted to attain enlightenment, so she asked all the authorities, how do I do this? How do I do it? One said, well, if you climb to the top of this very high mountain, you'll find a cave there. Sitting inside that cave is a very wise old woman, and she will tell you. So the woman thought, good, I'll do that, nothing but the best. Having endured great hardship, she finally found the cave. And sure enough, sitting there was this very gentle, spiritual-looking old woman in white clothes who smiled at her beatifically. Overcome with awe and respect, she prostrated at the feet of this woman and said, I want to attain enlightenment. Show me how. The wise woman looked at her with her beatific smile and asked, are you sure you want to attain enlightenment? And the woman said, of course I am sure. Whereupon the smiling woman turned into a demon, stood up brandishing a great big stick, and started chasing her, saying, now, now, now. For the rest of her life, that lady could never get away from the demon who was always saying, now. So often Rinpoche would talk about nowness. The chapters Nowness and Discovering Magic in his book Shambhala, The Sacred Path of the Warrior, which is the other book we've been reading as of yesterday, are all about what I'm saying here. If you want to attain enlightenment, you have to do it now. If you're arrogant and stubborn, it may take someone running after you with a stick. But the more you open your heart, the more you make friends with your body, your speech, your mind, and the world that's inside of your circle, your domestic situation, the people you live with, the house you find yourself eating breakfast in every day, we can broaden that and say our world full of COVID and anger and acting out and horrible things, right? Like, the more you appreciate the fact that when you turn on the tap, water comes out. If you have ever lived without water, you really appreciate that. There are all kinds of miracles. Everything is like that. Absolutely wonderful. She goes on, but I love that. It may be a good place to stop. What do you guys think? Let me stop the dog from having the bone. Sorry about the noise. He likes to have his bone up against wood because, you know, it's more fun when it makes a lot of noise. What do you guys think? It's a great story, isn't it? Now. I'll just put out, I think we could all kind of identify what our demons with sticks are, where they are in our lives. Sometimes they're the things we try to get the heck away from. Maybe all the time we try to get the heck away from, or almost all the time. Like our habit is to go, oh my God, this demon's chasing me with a stick. I think I'll look the other way and get distracted or do something. Or, I mean, all the myriad ways we occupy ourselves, right? So she nails it, I think. So here we are, and let's sit there if everyone's good with that. This is a perfect place to sit, right? We can just pause and notice whatever demons are here and whatever miracles are here. It's all here, right? Does that sound good? So everyone knows what to do. Martha, so you know, we've been practicing a couple different forms in this group, but you're of course welcome to do whatever practice you want when I ring the bell. But we've been doing a gentle abiding shamatha practice where we just notice our mind, and when a thought comes up, we label it thinking and let it go by coming back to our breath, and we count the out breaths up to 7 and then just come back to 1. So it's about our gaze is open, our eyes are open, and our gaze is on the floor in front of us, because it's about being fully present here, taking our seat right here. I am, right? With all my demons and all my miracles. That's a good book name, Demons and Miracles. That's someone else already took it. And then we've been doing Tonglen, which Tonglen is another great practice to do. Let's sit for 10 minutes and we'll talk about how it was. And then maybe we can like talk about Tonglen a little bit too, if you guys want. Sound good? All right. Here we are in our posture, with our spine nice and straight. Noticing our breath, fully present. Ooh. How was that for you guys?
That was really beautiful today. My brain wanted to equate the monster and the now with the conversation we had the other day that I missed the following day about being able to let good things in. And somehow those two equated as the monster. Like, why can't you let those things in? And that was really powerful for me. And I get to go off to a staff meeting in about an hour and keep that with me, you know?
That's beautiful.
Those monsters they're not fun.
Sometimes that's why we call them what we call them, but when we strip away the judgment, they can be the most incredible, if not the most incredible teachers. They're our friends. Like we just make pushing them away, and then we're missing the opportunity to yeah. How was that
I'm
for
a
you?
dive right in kind of person. I usually just
Hi, who's here with me? Whatever, how scary, because usually we're scared.
let me have it. Let's go.
It's scary. Okay, here I am. I can open my heart anyway, even though I'm scared. The definition of courage to me, fearlessness. So how was that for you, Martha?
That was great. I really, I haven't practiced a lot with meditating with my eyes open. So that was like just a whole different kind of like, I was like, okay, I could do it my way, but I'm here now. Why don't I try this new way? Because I'm all about just, there's so many different ways to meditate. So many. So I thought, all right, I'll do it with us. So that was the big thing, just kind of like getting that going and being here and, so many distractions, but I was like, okay, that's cool. What's going on with these things? So then I was able to get, really come back to my breathing. And yeah, so that was really nice. I just kind of like followed certain things and I took a couple notes. I like to write stuff down. And then I kind of get right back in. And yeah, so that was really, really cool.
Awesome. It's really good to
thank you.
Yeah, it's nice to have you here. We've been working together. I can just give a little background since we have about another 8 minutes. And then I want to hear from you, Judy, if you want to share. But Judy and I have been doing this together since March.
Yeah.
When COVID hit, I basically was like, I'm going to invite other people to sit daily. And it was really lovely and intense and powerful. It always is in different ways every time, right? You never know what's gonna come up when you sit. Like you never know. You think you do. No. So anyway, how are you, Judy?
Okay, yeah. So the breathing, counting the breathing was very anchoring. That was kind of like that kind of kept me because, a lot like, some swirling thoughts. I mean, just feeling a lot of stuff about the the past generation. I'm dealing with my mother in the hospital. Today is yard site for my mother-in-law. And so she was there and my dad and, but feeling like actually, I'll use that same word again, anchor, like, just a real.
Here I am.
Yeah. And that's part of me and that's beautiful. So anyway, that was what it was.
Isn't it amazing? It's always amazing to me that the basic principles of just coming back to now, and when we're beginners, we need that counting to come back to now. That's like the now. It's like, but we don't consider counting a demon, although sometimes it feels like a demon, doesn't it? Because of what we do with it with our mind. We can make it into like, oh, I suck at this. I can't do this. There comes a demon, right? Really, like the self, all the storyline just right there. And the past, the future. So we've been talking a lot about just with precision, how the precision of sitting when you do it, especially if you pick, and this is in the reading, pick one vehicle. So one basic, I'll say this in this sense, the vehicle could be shamatha, that just gentle abiding, opening my eyes in the same way every time we sit, in the same, and we don't change it and try to do all kinds of fancy things every time, because then that becomes in itself a distraction. Wow, when you sit for years with one practice, I think there's another reading where Pema Chodron talks about she did shamatha for 7 years before she ever heard about Tonglen. 7 years of just gentle abiding with this same approach, same posture, same instruction, very basic, simple. Come back. Notice your mind, come back. And I know there's people who've done it for longer than 7 years, right? Anyway, what's the point? We do this, the same practice, but our experience is different every time. It's just fascinating, right? And then we could get really like fascinated by it and entertained by it. What's that? That's another layer of the onion too, right? We all like that. That's kind of fun. But anyway, it's not always fun, right? Sometimes the layers come up. Like for me, I was very surprised to just have a connection with a memory, that very intense memory, a very profound. It was a moment of teaching for me. I never in a million years would have guessed that I would remember this thing that happened something like 20 years ago, just today, bloop, as if it was just now. When a dear, dear friend of mine who was very, very sick in the hospital and getting ready to die. And he wanted cigarettes, and he knew we had this long-standing thing that I don't get him cigarettes because it went against me, but I didn't like to watch him suffering. And in that moment where I was just like, yeah, I hear you. And I just got him cigarette, and just watching him in that moment, how much we loved each other, just that, how much he loved me is what it was. And he was in this incredible pain, and all I could feel was how much he loved me. Holy crap, you know? Anyway, he still loves me. I still feel it. So all kinds of stuff happens when you sit, right?
Yeah, no, that is interesting about, that isn't where I thought that the reading meant about now. But for you, that past was now. And for me, my family that may not even be here, they're now, they're with me now.
I actually felt it was just him teaching me again that to be here now, and every moment and now the needs of other people are different, and what he wanted and needed from me wasn't what I maybe expected, but if I listen deeply, I'll understand and just be there with him. And to me, that's like the ultimate, this kind of the path that I'm on, that I'm committed to, right? So sometimes the way we help people, we have no clue. Sometimes we don't even know what we're doing is helping them. I've heard that countless times through the years. When you did this, really? Oh my God, I don't know I did that. Or you said this, did I? So that's, to me, that's the gift of like really being present fully, right? Deep listening. And I'm working on that more. That's so that demon going is like saying, listen, now, you can only listen deeply now, right? For me. And often for me, it comes in the form of physical pain lately. When this was going on years ago, I don't even think I knew what physical pain felt like yet. I was watching him. He had HIV, he had full-blown AIDS, he had lung cancer, he had brain cancer. And I got to spend a lot of time with him, which was an incredible gift. But I watched him suffering incredibly. And I watched him find joy in food he couldn't swallow. He couldn't eat it, but he was so happy to have this food in front of him and just to be sitting with it. Whew. Wow, you know? So anyway, thank you for listening to me, because that is, you know, sacred. And also every single, just looking at your faces is sacred. You know, here we are now together. How do we like be together and fully be able to hear each other and listen to and be with each other, right? The half hour flies by. But I'm so grateful for you guys for showing up with me and sitting. Thank you. And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning for another round. I want to remind you too, I'm recording, and I think I'm going to start making the recordings available to our private group, because a lot of people can't get on at this point, and it feels to me like a really kind of easy little half hour to just pop in and sit. We'll see if other people are interested in sitting when they're not physically with us, right? At other times during, are you all okay with that? Yeah. We could use it, or we could sit again ourselves, even though we sat through the same reading another time, and maybe in the evening, and see how different it is, right? Same reading, same video. I was there, but now I'm here. Anyway, cool, right? So great. Thank you guys. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Thanks,
take
Lisa.
care, everyone.
Nice to meet you,
Enjoy.
Martha.
Nice
Welcome.
to meet y'all as well. Thank you.
See you again.
Bye.